Hey guys, TheXploder here, and no, this isn't necessarily a vlog, but it's something a little bit different, as the title is to say. It's an interview that I had with this nice gaming company known as Fingergun Games. Now, these guys are working on a game I'm very much interested in. They are an indie developer, but the game they are working on is combining two of my favourite loves. My love of wrestling with my love of Final Fantasy style RPGs. Put them both together, and we have Suplex Saga. Now, if you haven't seen much about Suplex Saga, don't you worry, because I did send them a lot of questions which they have nicely answered, which I'm going to reveal to you guys. On top of that, I also have a link in the description below to their direct website, so you'll be able to check out all the info they have of Suplex Saga so far, and you can also sign up to their newsletter so that you will get notifications via email as to how the development cycle is going. So far the game's looking really badass, but of course I want to put my hype to one side. Let's tackle this interview and see what happens. So this interview consisted of me asking questions that were answered by Sam and Cordero. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, by the way, when I say that. And here we go. Question number one I gave to them. For those who do not know about Suplex Saga, what is the game going to be about? Very straightforward. And let's see the answer. Suplex Saga is a wrestling RPG, a game that will be an adventure but wrestling themed. The player will follow the journey of wrestlers who are fighting against the largest wrestling promotion in the world. They must stop this promotion from stomping out all the little guys and monopolizing the wrestling scene. They will meet wrestling themed characters, friend and foe, engage in crazy storylines, and attempt to go from underdogs to wrestling stars. The world will be entirely a kayfabe setting where everything is as real as their characters, and wrestling is a way of settling disputes. That already sounds amazing. You've got me sold already, but let's continue. Question number two I had for them. Suplex Saga is going to be a Final Fantasy style RPG. What gave you guys the idea to combine old school style gameplay with a wrestling universe? Their answer is as follows. Well, I've played many wrestling games over the years, and the one thing I always enjoyed was the creator wrestler and story modes that I could put them through. I realised that over the years I enjoyed the storytelling aspects of wrestling more than just the action part, so felt that an RPG fit the mold of telling a wrestler's in-ring and backstage lives, because wrestling is all about living a fantasy. Having a fantasy RPG setting where wrestling kayfabe is real just fit perfectly. And even if you're not a big fan of wrestling, I can agree with that, it works. Kayfabe is totally an amazing thing when it's all based in its own fantasy style universe. So that's cool. The third question. Of course, this being a game featuring wrestling and wrestlers, do you guys watch wrestling for inspiration? And if so, who are your favourite wrestlers? They answered with this. Sam has been watching wrestling a little more for about 2 to 3 years. Me, Cordero, have been watching it since I was a kid. My favourite wrestlers are a large range, but I am a stickler for people like The Rock, Kurt Angle, Cody Rhodes, Stone Cold, and the Hardy Boys. Perfect choices. Perfect choices. Question number 4. Let's talk gameplay. How are the wrestling moves going to work against your opponents? We're still refining this part of the game because we want this to feel as fun and intuitive as possible, but the way moves will work will be twofold. One, just like in many RPGs, some moves will work better against certain types of enemies, and some will not. Some enemies will be weak to strikes, like chops and kicks, some will be weak to slams, like suplexes, and some will be weak to submissions. Each battle in the game will force the player to choose their actions properly to defeat enemies with as little headache as possible. The second part of this is that the effectiveness of these moves are altered by whether the player completes the small minigame that comes with it. So like in Paper Mario for instance, hitting the action button at the right time will increase your damage. Suplex Saga will work just like this. Each move will have its own unique action component to keep them all interesting. We plan to even have 1 or 2 that uses actual Street Fighter like commands. So that's awesome. You'll be doing like a fireball in order to do a clothesline, or a shoryuken in order to do an actual uppercut, or maybe a shoryuken in order to put out the suplex. Oh! Or like quarterback circle in order to put them in like a ankle lock and twist. And then you twist it by actually like twisting the thumbstick if it has controller support. That would be amazing! Like, such a good thing. Question number 5 I had for them. Do certain moves level up alongside you in the game? such as suplex becoming more powerful or standard clothesline turning into a clothesline from hell, shades of JBL. We're currently planning on using a system kind of like badge system in Paper Mario, where a player can equip the character with various abilities and movesets. Each kind of move will have a strength and weakness, so a player won't be choosing based on whether it's the strongest move, but whether it fits their character build the most. And they want to enhance the power of a certain trait, such as suplex is becoming stronger, they can just equip the necessary ability. Very straightforward, and if you've never seen how Paper Mario works with a badge system, definitely check it out. It's a very good system that does work very well, and with how you get the badges, it also helps with level progression and strength progression, and it also encourages you to explore that a little bit more. So with all that tied together in this world, that should be pretty damn good. But they also put this at the very end. Finish moves will be in the game, but we'll talk more about that in the future. Oh, finishers! I'm hoping one of my favourite finishers is in there. The F5. Oh yeah, bit of Brock Lesnar for everyone. Question number 6. Some of my favourite moves in wrestling are the goofy ones, such as the Worm by Scotty 2 Hotty, where we see some of the more comedic moves making a mark in the game. You're going to see both comedy and outrageous moves being performed in Suplex Saga. This game is meant to be a kayfabe adaptation of the wrestling world, so we can afford to exaggerate a lot of moves you would normally see in the ring. So now you have moves like the Stunner, cracking the earth and knocking the opponent 10 feet into the air! Ooh, that's amazing! That just gives me an idea, and I hope they incorporate this, where you get a guy into a suplex formation, you jump, and as you jump into the heavens and suplex them down for the heavenly suplex. The grandest suplex of all. Question 7. Of course, wrestling also includes being good on the mic. Is there going to be a mechanic that involves players talking smack to their opponents on the microphone to either buff or debuff? Yes! We actually have a mechanic planned for promos in battles. We'll tell you more about that in the future, or a little bit of a cheeky tease there, but that sounds great, because I'll just be loving it. Kind of like how Armika does it in Street Fighter 5, just talk shit about my opponent on the microphone, and then just be like, mic drop, bam, they're debuffed, or my team's buffed, and we're just ready to go. It's like increases the strength of the next suplex, and we're like, argh. Question number 8. How will weapons work in the game? Bare fists, grapples, and submissions are great, but every now and again you have just got to smash someone through a table. You will be able to use weapons in the game. We haven't told people yet, but I guess we can mention a tease of what we want to do. Your characters will be able to not only equip their own weapons, but also steal some from the environment. You see a fire hydrant on the wall, you can grab it and use it. Nice! So how this could possibly play out, it could potentially mean that depending on where you're wrestling your opponent, certain environments could have certain environmental weapons, whether they be tables, fire extinguishers, ladders, steel chairs. The list could be endless to that part. I can just imagine someone fighting someone in a toilet and then just grabbing a toilet and going, ah! Bash onto their head or something like that. That would be pretty amazing. Hashtag gimme that toilet. Question 9. If I was not a wrestling fan but a big Final Fantasy fan, what would you say to convince me to pick up Suplex Saga? If you enjoyed Final Fantasy, you'll enjoy Suplex Saga. It will have a variety of different characters, all with their own plots and personalities. The narrative will be important in this game, which is the core of every Final Fantasy game, making the player feel like they're in this world and feel attached to both its setting and its characters. So that's a great way of selling it, because I know a lot of people out there are either up to date with wrestling, or they're very much old school wrestling fans, or many even people aren't even wrestling fans. So this gives you a chance to experience what it's like in the world of wrestling, obviously exaggerated as they said with kayfabe and all that jazz, but it's going to be an interesting way to introduce you to how some aspects of wrestling works. And in the end of the day, it's all going to be about the story, the characters, and how they progress as they're battling the big bad corporation. It could be a hint of them fighting the WWE! And in all honesty, if the game does well, and I don't know, maybe if a wrestling promotion actually hits them up, I would love to see, like, can you imagine if this game got so big or so popular when it actually gets there? But, I don't know, Kenny Omega. Put Kenny Omega into the game. Put guys like Christopher Daniels, who just became Ring of Honor champion. in the game. Or hell, I don't know, maybe if the WWE allow it, why not even slap in there Triple H as a huge boss fight? As if you gotta fight the guy who's been wearing a suit this whole time, who rips off his suit and it's now, I will dominate you. It's like, yeah! The possibilities are endless, it's gonna be hype. But I have one last question for the guys, so let's get this one answered. Question number 10. When are you hoping to get Suplex Saga on Steam Greenlight, and are there any long-term plans to maybe bring the game to consoles if it goes well? Game release schedules are not always final, but we're planning for release next year. We have a defined plan for getting from start to finish and are not going to try to go above our means. Completely fair for them, and I wish them all the best of luck. Again guys, a link to their website is down below. It's Finger Gun Games with Suplex Saga, and you bet your ass I'm gonna try my best to keep up to date with Suplex Saga and let you guys know what's happening, because I want to promote this game. This quite frankly is my kind of passion project game that I would just love to see succeed and do well. I'm in heavy support for the developers, and this is probably just the first of what might be many interviews. If you guys have any questions you would want to ask the developers, by the way, let me know, and then I'll get a list of questions from you guys sent over to them, and when they get the chance they'll most likely answer them, and we'll do another one answering your questions. That sounds like a brilliant idea. So put your questions in the comments below, hook these guys up on their website in the description, and check out Suplex Saga. It is looking amazing, and my god, I can't freaking wait. But until next time, whether it's an interview, a vlog, a let's play, a video in general, or just some crazy crap, join me on the Discord server, the Facebook, the Twitter, and all that fun stuff. All the infos are down there in the description and all that fun stuff. I'm TheXploder, you're explosive, stay that way, and I will see you next time. See you guys!